This is Duduspreeofficial FM on African radio.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to today's edition of African Youth Parliament. I am your honorable speaker, Damine. It's always a pleasure to be here. A very big thanks to Duduspreeofficial FM, the first and only truly Pan-African radio. Because with Duduspreeofficial FM, we can promote Africa, we can promote African culture, we can promote African tradition, we can promote the good and beautiful things about Africa, and we can make Mama Africa smile beautifully at us. It's always a pleasure to be here. I welcome everyone who has joined us on this show. I welcome you, ajokeade. It's always a pleasure, a beautiful pleasure to have you on this show. I welcome you, King Phoenix. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. So I'm very happy to be here once again. And to everyone who's listening to us right now live on Duduspreeofficial FM, on Duduspreeofficial Radio, I say a very big thank you to you all, because with you, we can always speak. With our listeners, speaking feels so much better. So, and to those watching us right now on YouTube, I am very pleased to say a very big thank you to. I'm very happy. Today is a very beautiful day. The previous meetings we've discussed extensively on African drums, African music, and it has been so beautiful. And we like the way this is transcending. We have been moving from one subject to the other. We have been touching very sensitive parts of Africa. We've been touching and exposing some parts that is subject, or that is now subject, or some parts that are now subject to Western influences. You will see that many things in Africa now have been westernized. In the name of civilization, people have brought in many strange things that is even destroying the earth, that is making the earth worse than it was. So I was talking to someone today, and it was a very nice conversation, because the person listened and the person was like, damn, we've lost a lot in Africa. I was telling him about the transportation, and from there I told him about the buildings in Africa. Then I told him about the arts in Africa, the arts and our crafts. I asked him several questions, and those are the questions I'll be asking you. Today, we are talking about traditional African arts and craft. Let me use in the olden days, because I have not witnessed that day. I am still young. So many years ago, several years ago, if we even stem it so back, like hundreds of years ago. So every African child then had the ability to do something. Every parent right here is always shouting, "Hello, wash your wall, hello, wash your wall, hello, wash your wall, hello, wash your wall." Formerly in Africa, there was nothing like wash your wall, because there is nothing you can do about that. But this Ishawa is not just dependent on tailoring and barbing and catering or its likes, because it was, you must not catering is a normal thing. You must not to cook, but we had people who will actually cook in parties, so that was so different. But now in Africa, we had different arts and crafts that every home practices. Everybody does this. Apart from those who specialize, like this is what they do. What they do is pottery. What they do is probably weaving baskets and so on and so on. But now, in many African homes, you will barely see people who can do any of these things. Africans, we used to have these handcrafts, things we can do with our hand. We had lots of things we can build and beautifully make. Is it wood carving? We can carve sculptures. Even those who used to carve drums, that's what they do. And they will carve drums, and they can just look at a tree and they know exactly what to bring out. Carving anything carvable, beautiful designs that people will put in their houses, instead of looking for all these pictures just hang about, pictures that do not make meaning to you sometimes, though of course there are others. But then where carvings are even touching them, you feel the intricacy, the way the person carefully carved it beautifully. That was something very common everywhere. We had wood carving, we had sculpture. Apart from carving things out of concrete, in fact, we had we had people who could carve things out of stone. You carve it out of stone, and it's always very beautiful. And you wonder, like, how did this person do this? And those who even make things with metals and so on. We have the blacksmiths and so on. They even had basketry, those who weave baskets from twigs, from leaves, from roots. They weave everything, and it's always so beautiful. The things we use. I can't remember the last time I saw a basket. Do you know the last time I saw a basket? When I went to buy pepper, those men using selling pepper. That is one. And when you get all these ampas, that is when you see baskets, our baskets. So now everything has been modernized. All we now make is plastic and plastic and plastic. You barely see wood out there. Things from wood, from shrubs, from trees, from leaves. Then there are leaf baskets. Most people don't even know about this. Leaf baskets that can actually float on water, that can actually hold water. I don't know if you can still call that a basket now, though, because it can hold water. But we had weaves that, we can make bowls with leaf. People used to even sculpt out plates, wooden plates, very beautiful. All these trays, they are not saying that are wooden, and spoons that they used to turn that are wooden. They are African things naturally. It's no special. It's very, in fact, it's something we do on the norms. So we could continue even to African mask, making masks, beautiful, beautiful masks then. They even made things like helmets, masks that you could wear on your head, not just wear. So many beautiful things we used to
Let's go down memory lane.
All right, thank you very much. So truly, we need to go down memory lane. We need to, if you think about it, if you think back, you feel like, damn, there's a lot we used to do that we don't do again. But now many people can't even do all these things. Many people didn't even know that it existed. Those days when we used to make things with wax, and it was so beautiful. We made things with mud. As a child then, this is also craft too, we used to knit with knitting, with wool, we would knit things. Then we mold lizards. In school, they would ask us to use starch with paper to mold lizard, mold tortoise, those were things we used to do a lot. But now it is ancient. You barely see things like that. And more you got that build for the broom. But now those are things that are ancient that are now olden day stuffs. And this is very bad because Africa portrays those things. It's part of our lifestyle, and it is something beautiful. We can express ourselves. People in depression then used to go and they just leave you. If you can draw, if you can carve, if you can cut out something, if you can weave, just go and weave it. Do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, they feel good because you've expressed the desire of the soul. You've allowed your soul to breathe, to inhale and exhale. Your exhale is the result of the inspiration. You've allowed your soul to be productive. So these and these are things that are bothering us. So what happened? Why did we stop African arts and crafts? Or why did we minimize it? You can barely see it. I'm talking from my own perspective now, and it has been so long. Whenever I see structures now, maybe I see someone, a molded man or something, it's so beautiful, and I just can't stop looking. So, but this is so rare. What's why they come museum now to see it? You need to go to the museum or go to this abule or something. Because at the end of the day, even if you mold an image, a structure, and put it in your house, they will tell you that it makes you want to know blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus. What's going on? What has happened to Africa? So the floor is open now. So you can signify if you want to talk. But let's start with King Phoenix. So King Phoenix, if you are there, let's start with you. And before that, please welcome you very much, Ajokeade. It's so beautiful to have you here. We're very happy you are here, ma. Thank you very much for joining us today. This is African Youth Parliament on duduspreeofficial, the first and only truly Pan-African radio. So please, King Phoenix, Ojo Oyinola, please, let's hear you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Host, for giving me this chance, and thank you Dudus FM, the first and only Pan-African radio. Yes, about this we are discussing now. I've said something similar to this. The reason why they don't promote African arts again is because they feel African arts are now old model. They feel these stores are things they do in the past, old model, and these stores are not things that can just be done in the past. We need to keep doing them. Our hearts, we need to keep doing them. And even now, they are trying to modernize our stores. Our hearts now, they're trying to modernize everything, not knowing that that local one actually has its own use. So now that's the main problem of this African art stuff, that it's not like before again. The reason why our African arts are not everywhere, the reason why we don't use them like before is that people feel it's an old model, and some people don't know the use. Most people gone, they don't know the use of these African arts. They don't know the use, they don't know the importance, they don't know what it is used for at all. That is another problem. And we need to start promoting them back. We need to start letting, like, we need to allow people to know what it is used for. Imagine now, for you to get an art now, just let's say a tree, a carved work of a tree now, is either you need to go to a museum or you need to go to the school before you can see those stuffs. Because now people are no longer doing, people are no longer practicing it because they don't promote. The government, even the government's gone, they don't promote these African arts anymore. They don't promote it. They feel everything is just in the past and the past. They think furnitures and other stuffs, all those ones can do everything. They don't know these African arts are actually very useful. And African arts are very good. We really need them. So we just need to start promoting them. I don't really know much about this art though. I don't really know much about this. So, but the little I know, I will still say. So we need to start promoting them back. We need to start educating people on what African arts are used for, their uses and everything. So thank you very much, Honorable Host.
Thank you very much, Ujura. It's a pleasure to hear you speak again. Thank you very much. So, yeah, people can promote it, but should we now leave everything to the government? This is not even something they teach in school. When they teach art and craft, it's just theoretical. They just tell them they just tell them this is this, that is that, this is this, that is that. There is no, I don't know. I don't know about the university level, but unless you go to university, but creativity starts from childhood at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, upwards. That's when creativity is at its best. So is it until someone is in university and you go and join art and craft, things like that? It's something they should naturally promote. One, and again, it's something that should be in every home. It's a knowledge that mothers should pass on to children. It's a knowledge that fathers to pass on to their children too. So, but now let's move to the next speaker, our very one and only Ajokeade. So Ajokeade, please, you can have the mic now. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. So great and happy to be here today. I welcome everybody. And many thanks to everybody that has been listening to us on Dudu Spree, watching us, following us, especially all our subscribers on the YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all of our social media handles. Adupe Okun. And those who have been supporting us in one way or the other, the Wonder Woman 2.0, those who came around, the barrister, the nurses, we've been able to storm Lagos and speak about things that we shy from. Continuation of the speaking, now we day here today. Of course, I am your girl, Ajoke, as usual. Let's talk about this deliverance we do in churches. And mosque too, they've started it. And you will discover that this deliverance they end up uprooting us from our own soil. They end up rooting us out. So you see somebody who is Otegbeye, like my husband, who will end up telling you that he's now Jesu Beye. In fact, he was lucky that he didn't change the name, because if he had changed the name, I wouldn't have married him. Because that will show that he's a slave. And I don't want to get entangled with a slave to run my Aladdin. So change our name, we change our identity, we are things that are not ours anymore. So we don't eat our food. I was being told from UK to Lagos, you cannot be whiter than the white. And my family, my own paternal family, okay, I guess I'm back. Hello? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, can you hear me, ma'am? Okay, thank you very much, ajokeade. The network is quite a bit. So we've been having network issues here and there. That is what we see here. So to continue on African art and crafts, when Africa was colonized, many things were carted away with. They took away our arts, our crafts, our sculptures, the ones, both metals and bronze and gold and silver and so many of that, and wooden. So they took away all our arts and crafts, and the ones we decided to keep, they ensured to influence people to believe them to be idols or idol related, you know? Oh, can I hear the sound? Please, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
loud and clear.
Oh, thank you very much. So then the arts and crafts they left with us, they made sure that people believed that it is either witchcraft. Then they start telling you things like this, like, it is possessed with the devil or possessed with demons, and these things are bad for your environment. To the extent that you can't just have a wooden sculpture, a sculpture in the house. You'll be feeling like, hey, something might be inside, unless you are a free African person. But those that are still under the influence of slavery, they have that mentality. And this is so bad. I'm not saying please. I'm not saying African arts can't accommodate spirits, but it is not in the way that we've been told. But what I'm just trying to say is African arts should be promoted. We should go back to those days when our children learn arts and crafts, things that will be useful to them in the future, things they can even use to even make a living if they choose to, things that they can use to express themselves, express their creativity. There's no way you have so many arts and crafts that a child will not learn at least one or even more, because many children here are very intelligent. So please, ajokeade, if you would like to continue, I am willing to drop the mic here. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker and every Parliament member. So some are complaining they couldn't hear the sound. We are sorry. It's one of those things that we have to face. Please, if you are in the Parliament, you may step out, come back again, then the network would have been good. Those listening to us on the radio, and those watching us on the YouTube, so the point I was trying to make was, We don't eat our own things, food anymore. We don't wear our clothes anymore. We don't use our art and craft anymore. So definitely nobody will make it anymore. Like today, when I saw this topic, I was I was inspired that I'm going to design a cloth and I'm going to use our cowries. I'm going to design a white cloth, a white dress that is going to be designed the way our forefathers used to pakaja. So I don't know, like it just came to my mind, and instead of me using the glass beads that I'm going to go look for cowries and I'm going to use it to parliament. I challenge myself and I ask myself, what are the things I can do to become better? So this is Ajoke, and it could be any other person. We are here now. Let us the actual we use, we make today, we wear today. The wool, the yarn they used to make them are no longer produced on our continent. So, I mean, the ajokeade that we wear in Yoruba land. So you will discover that the yarn is now Shinko yarn or the Swiss yarn, our tie and dye. We used to have all these things. We no longer use them. We no longer produce them. So I challenge every governor, sitting governor on, if a governor
Okay,
in
I
your
have a bit of network issue on my phone. So now the paper macho that we have, that we do in Africa, it's not an African invention. It is a French product. So here we are doing everything, using things that are not ours. We left our own. We used to build our houses before the whites came. With I was able to practicalize that when I was serving, when I was a youth corps, and I was happy. The bus stop I constructed for the village was made with our local materials, the mud. So now, why are we at this point, at this state where we are lost? Is because we have decided not to identify with our roots. And this is a clarion call for every one of us to go back home, and ask ourselves, what do we do? Our mothers, because I ask questions a lot. I asked my mother that when you were Sisi, what did you do apart from dancing in the disco, like, yeah, I told you last week. Okay, I wanted to. Okay, like I told you last week, apart from dancing in the disco, we have all these other. Excuse me. Okay, I guess it's all right now. So thank you so much, everybody. So now, apart from dancing in the disco, we had all these the fashion they followed that time. Then being a seamstress was what they used to do. Sisi, like getting the Oyinbo London tailor was what they used to do. Sisi, instead of them doing the ashofi like our forefathers used to do, and that was the beginning of our loss. Like my own paternal, that was the analogy I wanted to make before. They were bird watchers. To the extent that the name, we keep Odidere, Odidere. So if you know Odidere, that's what my family keep. But my daddy's generation stopped it. So now there's nothing like that again. So my generation could not identify with it. So now I have interest in bird keeping. In fact, like I already made contact. I had to go and look for lovebirds across Europe. Now look for the parrots across Europe. Something that used to be the heritage of my family. So we have issues. We have lost like just imagine I would have been the fourth generation. So imagine the business that would have been kept for 4 generations, how well it would have been done and beautifully now. We would have been like maybe since, like you see some companies since 1902. That should have been what I should be doing now, keeping the line, but now I have to start again. And the same way many of us we have to start again because we have lost so much. Thank you so much, the parliament. It is just for us to go back. I can't blame anybody. The religion came, our forefathers did deliverance, and they disassociated themselves for everything, cultural, everything. And I begin to question the religion, like I'm at the point where I query them because they shouldn't take that which belongs to me and make me feel like a second fiddle for them to be okay. Now we are here right now, all of us across the globe, those in UK, those in Nigeria. I am so sure that we are wearing Oyinbo cloth. Even though it is Agbada, I am so sure that that fabric was not made in Nigeria. So we have lost so much. Let's go back to the start. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
Too good to have you here, Ogbeni Tunde. Very happy to have you in the house. So you have spoken well, ajokeade, and I'm very happy about that. That means art and craft self, with this point, I'm even beginning to think it's not limited to what you can just do with your hands and so on and so forth. My own family, I don't know if there was any particular art or craft they used to do, but I do not know. The only thing I knew was that my grandparents were very good, like animal husbandry or shit. In fact, my grandma, my father's grandmother, was very good at that. But I didn't meet it. My dad left for Lagos. Jesus Christ. But let's just leave that. I've stopped nursing that. So African parents, I don't know, after they receive religion, but after they accept religion, they just dump our culture. And the reason why they can't really practice our culture with the new religion is because the new religion tries to put everything cultural away from you, one way or the other. Is that they make you too busy, or they make you look at it despisefully, or and so on, so many things. So that's call on our anchor now, Mr. Ajokeade. So please, Ejo, let's hear from you. What do you think about this African arts and crafts? Thank you very much, man. Okay, I'm not sure quite. So, but African art and craft is what we're doing the mind. And so I would like Ogbeni Tunde, if you are available now, you can unmute to speak to us. Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm very happy to join you today. I haven't been away for a long time. Well, it's due to personal issues, but I'm glad to be here today. You've spoken well. I joined late, but I picked some points. You see, like you just an African craft and that you agents now. It's like for market, where they put different stores of handmade products. And there's somebody that was making a craft, and this craft is from Lesotho in Africa. So they used to make art, that looks like all those arts, and other jewelry, things that are made from original, like simple organic materials. And the person who is who is promoting this craft was an Oyinbo guy. And if you see our people today, are they our youth? Are they promoting things like this? And you will see in the house, I've just sent the card. I had to take the card from the man, his business card, so I can link up with him later. It shows how much we've lost, and other people are now the one, promoting what we're protecting. Talking about he was speaking earlier about our heritage, our ancestral uh, business lines, or in Kotan Baba Manche, that has been cut off based on payment by Seni Wale. I will tell you, for example, now my own surname is a Muslim, is an Arabic name. And just last, I was asking my mom, what was the real name of my father's family? Like, what was their family name? Until now, she hasn't provided it. She said she will ask somebody. I've lost my grandparents, so I couldn't, ask directly. So she's still doing that research for me now. The point I want to bring out is that from what I've gathered, I figured out that my grandpa was a goldsmith. He fabricates golds, jewelries, and that. And it sort of dawned on me, because then she also went on to say that Idile Ogun ni Atiwa, as in the Ogun. If you go to my town now in Osun State, my town is Ede. There's a place they call Ede in Osun State. And if you get to Ede Central, or somewhere around Ede Central, just ask that you're going to Idile Ologun, and they'll just take you to my father's house. It tells you the importance of having your ancestral, how do I put it, identity, just by your name, your family name, identify where you're from, what your family people do, and that kind of things. But God has it today. I'm in the line of engineering, so it goes back to say that our ancestral DNA is something that is very strong. My grandpa was a goldsmith, dealing with metal works and all those things. And now me too, I'm in that line. It shows that our how do I put it? Our identity is something that shouldn't be lost. It helps us. It sort of channels us onto what career path we should be following in life, so that we won't be lost. Is the only thing I can say now. It's just a little bit sad that we youth of today, we are chasing after cultures and traditions of other people, and it's not benefiting us. And today, the place it has us now is not good. And if you look recently, the new movie that is out is called The Gangs of Lagos. I'm not sure if has anyone seen that poster?
Yes, I've seen the movie.
Yeah. I've not even watched it, but the moment I saw the poster, I was sad. I was like, this is not how we should be promoting ourselves. And most of these things that they're even portraying is not even our lifestyle. They are sort of trying to distract our youth to be um, to start forming new identities of what they are not. All these things that are looking at, are portraying on the screen for us, they are using it to form our younger ones into what they want them to becoming. This is not it's high time that we really work on identifying who we are. And that also goes back to the arts and crafts thing. Our arts and crafts is part of our identity as well. All this neglect that we are that our forefathers, let's put it that way, because our great grandparents are the one that caused all these things. Most of them, all this neglect, it has sort of made us lose our way. If anyone can pick any points from it, thank you.
Thank you very much, Benny Tunde. It's so beautiful to hear you speak, and it's so good to have you in there. So I'm very glad to even hear you say things. Okay, I can see that Ajokeade's hands are up. Okay, yeah, let her speak, and we can bring it up. Thank you very much, Ajokeade. Thank you. Come in.
Thank you so much. I hope the network will allow me. So now, there there's something that when I saw that gang of Lagos, I was like, Kilele Isaleko. I said, is that the heritage of Isaleko that you should be promoting? I was at Oshodi one day and I was almost robbed, broad daylight, broad daylight. And the guy was even like proud of wanting to rob. I recorded him. He's on one of this thing, African Lens. I recorded the stupid guy. These are the kind of movies that promote, that tell us we cannot be anything than being Yahoo. Secondary schools in Lagos, go to ordinary GSS3 where they have 12 to 13-year-old kids. The boys and girls want to become Yahoo. That's my life ambition. And I asked them why. They said they needed money. What's the responsibility of our parents? That means we don't have parents anymore. Values. We now have criminals at the helms of government affairs, where people can actually steal and go to churches and mosques to do thanksgiving, almsgiving, and nobody is querying them. The days of Anini have come back. I wasn't well conscious during the time of Anini, but I heard the story. So we now have Anini as governor, as senators, as House of Reps. Now you are seeing our identities are being eroded away. We have community leaders who just they bamboozle you, they waste your time, waste your life, and waste your resources. Here we are today. We still know. I queried Gang of Lagos, and I am glad it's not in the cinema because I went to the cinema in Lagos like a week ago.
The network is
because I requested
doing
for
me
it.
as
I wanted to actually query it.
Hello. Okay, let me just conclude my thought here before this one come back on board. So now we have a perennial problem that is actually, sponsored by the government. It is sponsored by people who are in the helm of affairs, and until the youth begin to query them, they just do BB Naija finish. They give you Gang of Lagos. Next, now they are bringing all these touts in human skin, all these animal where they wear agbada. Now they are coming and they are messing us up. They are messing us up, and we are cool with. We are cool with it. They are messing us up. They are messing our identity up, and nobody is talking. And the churches too. I wish you go to one church on a Sunday and you will see how we are just messed up. We don't know where we are going to. Lelatu Likodri is coming in a few days. Go to the night. What do we do there? It's not different from a clubhouse. Yes, our imams are in the front doing the deed, but we know what we youth do at the back. What's wrong with us? Is this how we would build the next generation? I was sad today when they said Osoyin that came from us. It was the United States Army that built the internet. What were our forefathers doing? They couldn't. When we know that the Osoyin of one they breathe, they intercommunicate, and that is the internet. Now we have lost so much. Now we have to keep going back. It was the mentioning of the Gang of Lagos that made me come up with this, because it is. I thought I was the only one that was disgusted with such line. When you see a young boy in the advert, I saw a young boy, maybe about 7-year-old boy who stole money, brought it to the mother, and the mother was saying, Jack. It may be the story now, but that will not be who we are, and that will never be our end. We are coming back and we are reshaping it. And that is why, if you want to support us, please support Dudu Spree. If there's anything Africa need at this moment, is the voice of reasonable youth like us, where we will not just be all baby mama and stars. I began to query this star mentality, because for every one star we produce, there are millions of youths that are there. And we are the cultural heritage that teaches us to be able to feed ourselves, to be able to keep our homes together, to be able to keep our heart and soul together. We have a concept that we say that tó bá ṣáà ti lè keep ilé ẹ̀ together, ọkùnrin làdá ni ẹ́. But now they have sold the ones that they will say that if you don't have money, you are not popular, you are not a man. Come on, we need to change this narrative. They have stolen enough from us, but I don't blame them. I blame the 2 generations ahead of us. Thank God my father did not change his surname. He changed it, but he still used another name associated with Ola. I am glad. I appreciate him for that. But I will never. I have siblings whose name, the 2 names, you not even know they are Nigerians, and we are quite fair in my family. So they even look like the Chinese. So you'll be wondering, when you now I have a sister that 2 names, all white name. You will not even know. You cannot even relate with our identity. We know them. We have children. Some of our mothers here, they know we have children that they can't even identify the 2 names, because they decide to use your own English name. They use their own English name. Then the generation is gone. They can't even speak the language. I rest my case. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
Thank you very much, Ajokeade. I was at a place today and I saw someone and I asked him, "What is your name?" He told me his name, Francis Moses or something. I was like, no, you don't have names. I was just like, you don't have names. What are your names? Like, that's not your name. Like, oh, Loruko, you are nothing, you are nobody. I don't know you. Like, what is your name? Who can I identify you with? And I've been doing that lately. I've been asking people, what is your name? Some will just tell me either their Arabic name or their Israeli name. And I'll feel like, no, that is not your name. Then they will now understand. I feel like, okay, who come in Damlola, who come in Feishara. And I'll feel like, so you have this beautiful name. But so identity problem, right? So people want to identify with people they are not. People, we are leaving everything that is ours. We are throwing it in the water and picking things that do not matter to us, things that are useless. There's so much to fix in Africa. Sometimes I feel like, I'm a problem here, Paul. We have to work so much hard. But yes, that is what we're going to do. Work hard is what we will do till everything is good, because I won't let my own children grow up in this. I won't let them wake up to this negative reality. I want them to wake up and feel like, yes, things are better. Thank me. I want them to thank me and say, I thank God for my grandpa. I thank God for great grandpa. That is what I would do. I know my own surname and I know our family name. I know where I am from. I know my roots. I can go home now and say, in fact, they are still calling me, okay, maybe Aspar. They are like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't go too deep in this, but now I know that this is where I'm from. This is who I am. This is my father. And I'm still learning, because I still want to know where I am from maternally. I want to know my mother's side too. I know the names, but I still want more. So Africans should wake up and not give birth to lost children. And everything they've touched, we've spoken a lot now. So now, rounding up back to African arts too and crafts, we should remember these things are important. When you don't know who you are, how will you be able to practice or learn any art or craft at all? You don't even know who you are. Your parents didn't teach you, and so on and so forth. There's so much to do, but this is what we'll do. So wherever you are, start by learning something. You go back, know who you are. Teach if you can teach. And if you are still lucky to have a craft, do not let it go. and teach it to the next generation. Put it in the hands of children, of your children, so that they can pass on and pass it. And the most beautiful thing about African arts and crafts is that they are very friendly. They are earth-friendly. They are earth-friendly. If we make baskets, instead of we use things, leaves and roots and matters, instead of nylon that do not decompose, everything is going to change. Earth is getting destroyed seriously, and people should know this. So unless we save the earth, and is the best way to save the earth, Africa, let everybody be Africanized, and the earth will be saved. Seriously, we have rules that say you must not defecate in the water. We have rules that say you must not build anything that can destroy the earth. We have many rules that are saying that naturally, culturally, that's just our own culture. You understand? And that's how we've survived until this Western culture, until they came with their quote and unquote civilization. So let's just remember, learn a craft, learn how to do something, bring out the creativity in you. Everything is not just about money and fame, like Ajokeade said. You know, it is about who you are and the legacy you want to leave behind. Let us remember. And yes, I speak to everybody here. Thank you very much for being today. I speak to everyone I meet. Low call. I'm always talking. I try to educate people. Remember, this is your name. This is who you will be. This is who you will be. Ojo Damilala Lokomi. But on stage here, I am Damai, Damai. And I'm very proud of African Youth Parliament. I'm happy I can be here to always speak about Africa and the rebirth of Africa. But the lucky thing about Africa is that our ancestors are reborn through us. One, and even when I leave this earth, I know I'm coming back. And the things I'm unable to fix now, I'll still have time to fix it, but I won't be lazy. I'm going to do everything I can to make this life worthwhile. I'm sure our ancestors who didn't do it right then, they are regretting, and I will not regret. And I'm happy that we have everybody here too who is working. If everybody here every African youth can be like the people on this platform now, man, Africa will be so beautiful and wonderful. So it's so good to have you here. I'm very proud. I'm very happy. Aha. Yeah, I'll go into today. We see this. So there's a lot. Everything Africa makes educates you. It makes you closer. It makes you feel closer. Do you know all those tree houses that we used to build in Africa? And they came and told us that these tree houses, they don't make sense. The houses used to build with wood and everything. That is what they are now doing. The luxury, our forms of transportation, horses and camels and donkey, right? It doesn't make sense because it might not be fast enough. They still tell you speed kills. So if it's about speed, forget it, because speed kills. If it's about fuel, you tell me that at least for horses you don't need to use fuel. You don't. For horses you need food. For cars, just put fuel and start driving. And hours of rest. Forget those ones. Don't make sense. There are ways to prevent tiredness and all those fatigue and all those things. But we know that every other thing is destroying Africa, is destroying the earth in general. So let's go back to those days where we can weave arts. Well, let's go back to those days where we can weave our own clothes again and produce our things and have things that are friendly, less plastic, less of nylon. Even in food and eating, less of nylon packaging. Let's use our leaves again so that we can be healthy, and so that the earth can be healthy. Because this nylon and plastic, they don't decay, they pollute the water. Do you know how many tons upon tons of dirt, of plastic, of nylon that we have in the sea, in the ocean right now? Let's not go to the disadvantages of westernization and the so-called civilization. Just know that African art is the best for us. So thank you very much for today. Next week, we'll continue again on Africa. We are rebranding Africa. This is African Youth Parliament, and we're very happy to have you. A very big thank you to Dudu FM, the first and only truly Pan-African radio. We really appreciate Dudu because our voice can be heard. So please support Dudu. Supporting Dudu means you are doing what you can to make the voice of Africa heard. You want the voices to be heard. You want the good news, the good things to be heard. So please, instead of promoting Big Brother Niger, We should promote content like this. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ogbeni Tunde. I'm so happy you joined us today. Thank you very much, ajokeade. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So thank you very much, Ojo Oyinola. Thank you very much, our very own Kemi Macaulay. So good to have you on this show. I'm so blessed to have you all on this show. So please have a wonderful day. And remember, let's go back to our African ways, to the beautiful ways. We can reshape the future. It's all in our hands. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
This is Duduspreeofficial, an African radio.